Bibi Amhara Kilil Washa, Yetadaramesabaku, Yemedin Yemefelagu Sira Yale Firi Tetnakeke. BHTube Ethiopia updates. Before we start, please subscribe the channel and share the video for your friends on a day like any other. February 8th, in the Amhara region of Ethiopia, a fateful incident unfolded. In the Dalanta district, within the Alahwat locality of the South Wollo area, a group of miners set out on their daily venture. Their mission was to unearth the opulent opal, a gemstone that's as unpredictable as the very ground they dug into. On this day, however, the earth had a different plan. At least 8 miners, armed with nothing but their courage and tools, found themselves in a dire situation when the cave they were mining in suddenly collapsed. Their everyday journey into the heart of the earth, a quest for the vibrant beauty of opal, took a chilling turn. An everyday quest for beauty turned into a chilling nightmare. Imagine an arduous search, a race against time and nature beginning in the heart of Ethiopia's rugged terrain. The quest to find the 8 opal miners swallowed by the earth in a tragic cave collapse was a daunting task. The authorities, aware of the gravity of the situation, were faced with a formidable challenge. The topography of the site, a cliff where machinery was a near impossibility to deploy, was their first hurdle. Despite the odds, the search began. The authorities, though lacking the necessary resources, refused to stand by idly. The rescue operation was initiated with a sense of urgency, a hope to bring a glimmer of solace to the grieving families. The initial days saw a tremendous effort, a testament to the human spirit. More than 50 meters of ground was pierced, dug through with nothing but manual labor. Each shovel of earth moved was a step closer to the miners, an inch closer to closure. Yet the land was unyielding. The rugged terrain, a formidable adversary, refused to relinquish its grip easily. The authorities soon found out that the traditional methods were not enough. The decision to bring in excavators was made, a desperate attempt to speed up the rescue operation. However, the landscape proved to be an uncooperative foe. The deployment of heavy machinery was hindered by the difficult topography. The cliff, steep and treacherous, made the use of excavators an uphill battle. The search, a beacon of hope for the miners' families, was proving to be a Herculean task. Every passing day brought with it a new challenge, a new obstacle in the path of the rescue operation. But the topography, a relentless adversary, made the search more challenging. As days turned into nights and back into days, the search operation continued, now with the use of machinery. With the manual labor proving strenuous and time-consuming, the decision was made to bring in excavators. These mechanical giants, typically so effective in digging and moving large amounts of earth, were expected to hasten the search efforts. But the topography of the site was a formidable adversary. The location of the collapsed cave, perched on a cliff, made it almost impossible to deploy the machinery effectively. The ground was unstable, the angles were steep, and the risk of causing further collapses was high. It was like trying to perform a delicate surgery with gloves too large and tools too blunt. Despite the adversities, the search continued, driven by the desperate hope of finding the missing miners. Each passing day, however, chipped away at this hope, replacing it with a growing sense of dread. The families of the miners, clinging to their phones and waiting for any news, were trapped in their own personal nightmare. Their pain was not just about the missing men, but also the absence of closure. The bodies of their loved ones, buried under tons of rubble, were yet to be recovered. The inability to lay them to rest, to say their final goodbyes, added another layer of grief to their already heavy hearts. The district administration head, tasked with overseeing the rescue operation, echoed this sentiment. The traditional and modern rescue efforts that had been employed over the past 19 days had yielded no results. The excavation, the machinery, the hours of manual labor, none of it had brought them any closer to finding the miners. Hope, however, was becoming as elusive as the miners themselves. After 19 days of grueling search, the operation came to an end. The hopes of finding the opal miners who went missing in Ethiopia's Amhara region following a cave collapse were extinguished. The authorities, despite their best efforts, had to admit that the difficult topography of the site made rescue operations almost impossible. The location, a precarious cliff, proved to be a formidable adversary, preventing the deployment of machinery that could have expedited the search. The families of the miners were left in an unbearable limbo, their loved ones now presumed to be dead after spending more than 2 weeks trapped under the collapsed cave. The harsh reality began to sink in. Their fathers, brothers, husbands, and sons, at least 8 in total, were not coming back. Their dreams, their laughter, their stories, buried under mounds of earth and stone. The head of the Delanta District Administration was quoted saying, "The efforts we've been making over the past 19 days, both traditional and modern rescue operations, did not bear fruit." In the early days of the rescue operation, manual labor had moved more than 50 meters of ground. Later, there were attempts to bring in excavators, but the unforgiving topography proved unyielding. The tragedy struck on February 8th in the Delanta district, Alahuat locality of South Wollo area of the Amhara region of Ethiopia. A day that started like any other ended in a nightmare that would haunt the mining community and their families forever. The chance of recovering them alive is slim, the relatives of the miners had stated in a heartbreaking telephone interview. The grieving families expressed further sorrow over the fact that they had not been able to recover the bodies of their loved ones to lay them to rest. "It is more grief that we have not recovered their bodies and laid them to rest," they added. The search ended, but the pain of loss and the memory of those brave miners remains etched in the hearts of many. The end of the search marked a solemn conclusion to this tragic chapter, but the story of these miners, their courage, and their tragic fate continues to resonate, serving as a somber reminder of the risks and sacrifices associated with opal mining in Ethiopia. Thanks for watching. Selam li Ethiopia, Hizib BH Tube Ethiopia.